last example, a little uglier than the other three examples, but a over x over b over a plus x. Again, this fraction bar is a little bit bolder than this one, so that is my main fraction bar. That actually gets easier as the problems get uglier, because as it gets uglier, you got more terms, like term plus term plus term over stuff. The main fraction bar is the longest one every time, but right now these are almost the same length. That one's a little bit bolder, so there's my main fraction bar. The top object is a fraction, a over x. The bottom object is also a fraction, b over a plus x. This denominator is not the same as a plus x, right? They're different. So the least common denominator here is going to be x times a plus x. Keep in mind, when you're finding common denominators, just because they share a letter doesn't make them the same. If x is being added or subtracted from something, then it's going to be different than just x by itself. So x all by itself, a plus x is a separate factor, different factor. So x and a plus x multiplied make the least common denominator. So when I create the numerator of this thing, I'm doing a over x times a plus x. The x's cancel. That leaves me with a being multiplied by a plus x, which is going to make a squared plus ax. Because we distribute a times a and a times x. Okay, so the distributive property is required if you are multiplying by a binomial or more than one term. So make sure that that does happen. On the bottom, this a plus x on the bottom being multiplied by this a plus x on the top cancel each other out. That leaves me with bx. Again, non-fractions on top, non-fraction on the bottom. That is my final answer. Do not be tempted to cancel these x's. That doesn't contain an x, so you can't. Right? If this was a squared x plus ax over bx, everything has an x, you can do it then. But if only a couple things have the same letter, but not everything, you can't cancel by it. So be careful of that. I'd say if you did 100 of these problems, maybe 1 or 2 are going to cancel. So I wouldn't recommend even doing it ever, because I don't count off for not canceling.